Hello, everyone. This is a very special podcast, not only because it is the first one, but also because it gives us a touch of what's to come. So watch this space. Also, we have a very special guest, Carlos Aleman. He's that guy who's always doing something. He's in conferences, in talks, sharing the blogs he writes himself. But who better to tell us his story than Carlos Aleman himself?
Yeah, thank you so much for the introduction and thank you for having me, Natalie. It's quite a big pleasure to be here and to be pioneers in this type of activities and everything. So thank you so much.
Another activity for Carlos Aleman.
Another one.
So tell us, how do you started in the field? What inspired you to get in the technology area?
Yeah, so I've always been like really curious about how the things work. I remember when I was like a kid, I used to try to understand how everything works. So that's how I brought down in pieces like many kitchen appliances for on the house, and I got like some problems about that because I was not able to build it back, but it was quite awesome. So that's how I started like getting interested on how the things work and everything. So then when I keep growing and everything, I remember I started like some like technology courses, like started working with like regular type kind of office software and everything. And that's how I started getting onto computers and trying to understand how how the software was built and everything. And that's how I started studying like information technology related type of careers and everything. So yeah, that's pretty much how I got interested on the technology field, and more recently on the AI. Uh, ever since I started as an engineer, I've been working on how to automate things, how to automate processes, how can we do things better and everything. And since like a few years ago, I started learning on how AI works, like what were the models being trending at that time. And then a couple of years ago, with when the GPT started to become like more on the market and everything, I that's when I also started to be like more interested on that field, and I started understanding how the data engineering work, how the data analysis process is happening, like overall how the data is pretty much managed, and how that data is taking all the way to information for the different type of systems that we are working on and everything.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm telling you, you have a lot of experience, and that's great. And right now, honestly, AI, it's a big thing. It's moving a lot of stuff. But before getting there, I want to ask you something. So everyone understands what we're talking about, and it's how would you describe or explain the digital transformation to a 70-year-old? I would say, I would have said a 10-year-old, but honestly, those kids are already like into digital and everything related to that. So I won't say 10-year-old. I'm gonna put the 70-year-old.
Again, the kids are already there, right? They are teaching us how to use technology.
Yeah.
So my father used to work for a bank. So I remember when I was a kid, I used to go with him to the office and everything. And I still remember like these mountains of papers they used to have there and everything. And they were working on the transition to become like digital banking, right? And I remember there were some guys whose work was only to put on digital the papers that they used to have and everything. So that that marked something on me, and it was like, so the digital is the way to go, right? So whenever I started like justifying even why did I wanted to go to a Nike school and everything, I was like, so digital was coming next. And I'm sharing this about the bank, about my father, because I was at the bank the other day, and there was this elder person, and he was being told like, but you need to download the app, and then you need to do the few things in the app and everything. And this the gentleman was having like a really hard time understanding what was going on. So then I approached to the person, and I was like, so sir, looks like you're like really having a problem understanding what you need to do, right? And he was like, I just need to withdraw some money, I don't have my card, and I just wanted to do it. And the guy from the bank was trying to tell him like, if he had the application, he was gonna be able to withdraw money without the card from the ATM. And I was like, so yeah, so probably the first thing you need to understand is that you can do like several things without having to be physical here in the bank. And then this gentleman, he was like really, really keen to understand what was going on. Why was he not able to do it without the application? And he was like, but I have my phone right here, and I have my this and that right here. And then I started like explaining with a little bit more in detail, like what was the, how was similar to go to the cashier to get some cash from his account, or to go to the ATM, or just do a process in the application. Then I started like, so it's like when you are sending a message, do you know how to message something in that way? He was like, yeah, of course, I can WhatsApp with whoever is in my family, and we have groups and everything. And I was like, it's pretty much the same. You used to do it on the phone. You used to do it on letters before the phone. So right now, you can do banking through the phone. You can do banking through the mobile app. And then we were having like this interesting conversation. Did I got my turn on the bank? And then the guy was like, okay, so now I was able to download the app, and then now I was able to configure my account, and now I was able to get my all the online banking all set on the phone. And by the end, I mean, after like 45, 50 minutes, the guy was like, hey, thank you so much. I mean, I got to learn something today. I got to use my online banking, and now I'm getting some results because I'm getting actual, money. I'm getting the cash from the ATM without the need of the part. Yeah. So that's, I mean, that would be like the main approach for me, like to go with a person and then start saying like, you used to do this. I mean, how the communication, how the data processing, and how the processes are becoming more digital every day.
Yeah, honestly, you're telling me this story, and I'm just thinking about my parents. They should like hear about this, because even with a simple platform like Netflix or whatever, they're like struggling. So yeah. Something to learn about it. But honestly, sometimes it's not like only people; it's also companies that they're like being resistant to like the change. Instead of like going digital, they prefer to keeping their current procedures. So, would be one recommendation or something you'd say for those companies to switch their mindset and like turn into digital?
Yeah, I think this is a really good point, Natalie, because I mean, it, it is proven, right? Like more than 70% of the digital transformation processes used to fail because of the of a cultural uh, uh, negligence. Because at the end, technology is there, right? We use technology all day, every day, even if we don't want, right? Like if we are driving, I mean, the cars are pretty smart nowadays. If we are using the phone, if we are using like any type of services with whatever company we are trying to deliver with government, there are a lot of things that are digital right now. So the digital transformation itself, it's more a cultural thing than a technological thing, right? So first thing is, let's look at the big picture. Let's look at the how efficient we can become, how we can achieve more with less efforts, how we can do more things on a lower cost. Like that kind of stuff is what we should be able to go and see and determine whether we are moving like in a slower pace or on a faster pace, but definitely not moving is it will not be an option. So that would be my first approach. Like try to put that digital mindset on everyone. I mean, the companies that are implementing, the customers that are receiving the benefits of becoming digital and everything. That would be probably my best suggestion right now.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, technology it's everywhere right now. But I'm like going back to the first subject, I'm really impressed about AI, how it's being like a tool for everything. And I know you've been like working in Altimetrik for over like 3 years, more or less. But what would be your vision of AI for Altimetrik?
I know some of the efforts that we are currently applying. I think we are on the right path, right? So AI internally should be supporting like most of the process that we are currently working on. HR systems, people management systems, how do we process uh, through the customer processes, how do we onboard customers and everything. But the other side of that as well is how are we providing services to our customers with AI. So, like let's say, for example, there's some really good use cases on the healthcare area in which we can probably go and help with the internal company processes, but also how are we delivering value to actual humans through implementation of sophisticated AI based systems like image recognitions for for cancer tumors on skin or on X-rays on whatever we need. That's something like really huge, and that's a value that technology is actually delivering, and it can be delivered through AI, and it can be delivered through the correct data processing, the correct process of pretty much everything what we are getting like right now. So going back to your question, Nat, I think we are on the right path. We are becoming more sophisticated every time. We are becoming more mature on the processes, on the products that we are building, and that's the path that we should be continue building, right? Like partnering with the customers and working on the co-creation for the AI based products, and just putting our best to deliver what's expected, and go on above and beyond the line of duty on every single effort that we are putting.
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing for Altimetric, and that's good like, to keep on moving forward. And behind a good company, there's always good people. And I know you've been a leader there as well. So I just want to ask you, what would be an AI tool that you think it is really helpful or that you would recommend to other leaders in order to maybe save time or just like improve some procedures?
Yeah, that's a great question, because I like innovation, and I'm a pioneer. I consider myself a pioneer in technology and everything. And I have to admit, I have built my own tools for my own purposes, like time management, like those smart chats. I mean, I'm sure I'm not gonna be in a problem if I say some brands, but using the OpenAI APIs to build like my own time management tools, and how do we process a few different stuffs, that has helped me a lot. And of course, there are some tools in the market that can help us to for enablement in overall terms. But I would say probably probably start with something with any of the copilots. It's like a really good start. Then define what's the purpose that we are gonna be giving to this tool, and then identify whether we need something to chat with only, or probably we need something to process documents, or probably we need something to create images or process images. or process entire files and everything. So my recommendation, more than a tool, would be an approach, which is, let's identify what's the problem you want to solve, or what's the improvement area that you want to work, and then we can try to identify what would be the right tool to do it. So that would be my recommendation. And of course, there's like tons of tools out there in the market, and and we can use it for several different things. The thing would be like, let's make sure that we can use the right tool to solve the right problem.
Sure, yeah. I mean, there's a tool for everything, which makes me think that actually there are two scenarios. One is like people using these tools for everything. And then there's the other, like people who's not using AI at all. So, I mean, for me, that's like complicated. The scenario is just complicated. But besides that, what would be, well, because like, I think like with the AI, it's not like about like they're taking our jobs or anything like that. It's like you use it on your like advantage. So I think like that's a misconception, like on my, like that's what I think. But what would be a misconception you think it's like with AI and people like have it?
Yeah, I think this is a pretty common one. Like, is AI gonna be taking my job? I mean, I work with a lot of software engineers, and whenever these GPT fevers started coming up, there was a lot of people saying, "Hey, so I just realized that GPT can actually create code, and can actually do some few things. So is that gonna be taking my job?" The answer from my own and professional perspective is no, it's not gonna take your job. Who could probably take your job is someone who actually knows how to implement the AI tools out there in the market, right? Because if we analyze a little bit this, AI it's just the data, it's just the information about the world that is there. It's already trained and everything, and that's what we are doing, right? Like just sending some queries to a trained model. So there are some different models trained for some specific works and everything, right? So what from my perspective is, let's just make sure that we are using the right tool for the right job, and then let's just make sure that we are using this as an aid, not as my main tool, right? Because if I train the model and then I teach the model how to do what I do on a daily basis, then I'm myself trying to replace my duties with my own technology. I don't think that's the point. I mean, AI is here to be an ally on what we are doing, but not to replace what we are doing. So this should be seen as a partnership and not as a replacement per se. Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed. And considering that, what would be your vision of AI for the next, let's say, 5 years?
So AI is gonna be helping us a lot with probably routinary tasks, like some type of repetitive task. I myself have my own, I would say, probably smart house set up at home. Like whenever I come and I'm like, Alexa, turn on the lights. Alexa, turn off the lights. Alexa, do this, do that. And I have my own skills and everything. And that's probably not AI per se on that. But then, I start getting like notifications, right? Like, hey, we noticed like so time, so I mean the time is changing, so do you want to adapt the 8 p.m. schedule to probably 7 p.m. to probably 9 p.m.? So that kind of things is like, yeah, so I didn't think of that, so yeah, just go ahead and do it. Like those simple things are doing the life even easier. And probably going back to the banking application example that I was giving a few minutes ago, whenever I log into my bank account and like at my application, sorry, and I'm like getting messages like, hey, last month you transferred this amount to this person and this is something recurrent you've been doing. Do you want to scale this payment? Do you want to do this? And there are some other times like in seasonal times like, hey, you're spending a little bit more money on this specific different areas. Is this right? Is this okay? And some other like like this type of fraud payments and everything, like this payment was intended to be charged in your account, was this due, like that kind of stuff. So I'm like really helpful because that, I mean, that process was a human process that used to be done by the banks, but there was a person like getting notification, and then this person was doing the cross check, and it happened like 2-3 hours before you were getting the notification. Right now it's pretty much immediate, and this is enabled by this like really smart or AI based system. So what I'm seeing is it's gonna be more involved every day on our day. On a day to day in our lives, and again, it's gonna be like really helpful. It's gonna be helping us and allowing us to spend more time on more human type of tasks that will free some additional time and everything for us to get the things done.
Yeah, it's everywhere. I mean, what you were saying, that would be like your finance assistant or something. And yeah, honestly, if you get creative, you can have an assistant for everything. Just if you know wisely how to use the AI. And Carlos, well, to like not make this podcast any longer, I wanna ask you one question, and it's what would be or what is the best advice you've ever received that you wanna share with everyone who's listening to us right now?
Well, I
Just
have
one, just one.
yeah. So probably thinking on the best one is never stop learning. Uh, Never stop learning. I think that's the best advice that I've received. And whenever I'm not reading a new book, whenever I'm not reading a new blog, whenever I'm not reading or trying to learn something new, I feel like something is missing in myself. I feel like I'm not. I feel like I'm incomplete, right? Because I'm not doing something new. I'm not staying up to date. So I think that's the best advice that I have ever received, and it's probably something I can share with everyone looking at this blog right now.
That's amazing, Carlos. Thank you. I mean, we should all keep on learning. So, yeah, you heard, guys. Keep on learning and keep on improving your skills because you don't know, maybe tomorrow there's going to be a new tool and you want to be updated with that. Or you can also be updated listening to this amazing podcast. You choose. You choose. But thank you, Carlos, and thank you for listening to this very first podcast episode. See you in the next one.
Yeah, thank you, Nat, and thank you, everyone. Hope you like it.
Ciao.
Bye.